Now it's time for cleaner indoor air with an air duct cleaner from stainless steel. To be honest, we're carpenters, but we've been cleaning air ducts for over 20 years. We do things the right way, cleaning your entire system. So if you need an air duct cleaning, call 1-800-CLEANER today. Sponsored in part by Consumer Cellular. Get premium nationwide coverage for
All right. Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Racers News Network Live. Sorry for the slight delay getting on. We've got a couple little technical glitches we were working through. But here we are, as always. The man actually made it, sort of.
Wasn't easy.
As you can tell, the gears in his brain are turning because he's staring intently. I don't think he's blinked for about 7 minutes. But of course, I'm talking about Pete Sanka. And our guest will be joining us in just a few minutes. Of course, it's going to be Jenna NICHOLS, who just graduated from the junior dragster program at Lebanon Valley Dragway last year and made the step up to the big cars and pulled off her first win this past weekend. So we're looking forward to talking to her about making the transition from the little dragster to the big dragster and picking up her first win in the first couple of weeks of the season. So that's going to be awesome. We're going to have open results from ATCO this past weekend. Excuse me. The very first MicroStrategies National Open. Car count was about, I got 268 cars, but I was told that there was a few that may have snuck in there. So we're going to call it 270 cars.
270 is a fair number, yep.
270, yeah. We're kind of like, I kind of go for the even numbers, you know.
Yeah.
It makes my brain soothing. Also the Jim Harrington Memorial Bracket race this past weekend at Maple Grove, which Pete actually went and raced his RC car and had a good time. And got a chance to talk to Kyle. That correct?
That is correct. He was very interested in the RC car stuff, which is cool. He said he wanted to get it. There were a couple of small imperfections in the surface where we were racing. And he said he really wanted to fix it all up and paint some stripes on the ground and everything because he was into it. And it was funny because a lot of racers came over when they had some downtime and they would basically have the look in their eyes like, oh God, we can't get into this too. It would be just another disastrous hobby. So, but yeah, no, it was good.
Cool. Now, I automatically assumed when you were talking about racing RC cars, you were on, like a portable track, but you were on actually a paved track.
Yeah, it has to be paved. And basically, Maple Grove has 2 sets of grandstands. So the grandstands that run along where everybody pits, that whole side of the track is spoken for. When they don't have a national event or a Super Chevy show or something like that, they don't use the other side of the grandstands. So they had, not that we need the grandstands, but they had a nice paved straight road behind them. And that's what we utilized. And then the team that puts on the race brings in their own timing system. It was great. It was the first time they ever did it there. I don't know if you remember or not, but a couple of weeks ago, they did it at ATCO. I think it was just during a regular bracket race, or it might have been an import day or something along those lines. But they did it there too. It's the same team that did it there on Maple Grove. So it was pretty cool.
So they have a full legit timing system. I assume obviously a tree to go with it as well.
Tree timing system gives you half track, end of track, mile per hour, ET, reaction time, all that good stuff. And not to pat myself on the back, I didn't win the show, but I did leave with the track record.
There you go. Very cool.
Good stuff. I mean, it wasn't a win like Jenna gets or anything, but that's okay.
Hey, we know she could hear us. She smiled.
That's right.
Bottom left, just unmute yourself. There you go.
What's up,
all right? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Oh my God, we can hear her.
Look, we can hear, we can see, no delay. This is awesome.
Well,
Yeah, I'm using my phone this time.
she messages me last night. She's like, "Hey, just to avoid any technical glitches like the last time, can we do a test run?" Like, yeah, sure. So you got this is like what 8:45 last night or whatever. Like, you got time now? Yeah. All right, cool. Let's do it.
Awesome. It
So-
worked.
So, Jenna, you made the transition and you knocked one out in the first couple weeks.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome. How did it feel?
it was really great. It was absolutely nothing that I expected, really. Like I expected like a lot of weekends, just getting used to it, but getting the first one, it was just really great.
So how many weekends have you been driving the car? Did you drive it at all last year, or is this the first time?
No, this is the first time.
Wow.
That was the third weekend.
Some things are just bred into you, and your whole damn family has it, whatever it is. If it's something in the water, I'm coming up and getting a jug from you guys because good God. I saw your, not to take anything off your win, we'll get back to it, but I saw your brother going some rounds down in Maple Grove too. How did he do?
Yeah, he won pretty good rounds at the Harrington. I think
Nice.
farthest he made was 6th round.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. I actually, the one time that I walked over to the other side, I saw him, but he was in the stage lanes and he was kind of far. I shouldn't say he was close to running, and I don't like talking to people right before they're going to run, especially when it's late in the day. So I didn't want to bother him, but I kind of tried to wave a little bit. I don't know if he saw me or not, but I didn't want to disturb him. So, but okay. So listen, take us through your day. How did it go? Did you run on Saturday first?
That was on Saturday. That was a gambler's race.
Gotcha. Excellent. So time trials, you got in, you started going some rounds. Take us through the day.
Yeah, so it was just I honestly didn't even know that I was joining gamblers at the beginning of the day. They called and they were like, "All right, gamblers to the tower, $20 to sign up." And I was like, "Dad, do you want me to get in?" He was like, "Yeah, absolutely. You got to get experience somehow."
Yep.
And then first round went by and I got the win. And that was really cool because that was my first win where the other person wasn't red.
Okay.
And second round was another win, and then it ended up being a 4-round race. And that was, I mean, going through the finish line in the finals and seeing that win light come on, it was crazy.
It's hard to describe the feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how were your lights during the day?
My mom actually brought the book up here.
Awesome.
All right. So before the gamblers, I made one test and tune hit, and I was 11.
Nice.
The clean time shot for the gamblers, I was 13. And then first round, I was 18. Second round, I was 21. Third round, I was 005. And then in the finals, I missed the tree. I was 45. But then I was able to push him under on the top end, and he ended up breaking out, and I got the win.
Awesome. So with the exception of the last round, you had an average for the whole day of like an 11.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'm telling you, it's just in the genes. Just the way it is. So that's, one of the things that I love about going up and racing with you guys is me and your father are old. So we sit back and we watch all you guys, and the amount of pride that your dad takes when you or your, brothers are going rounds. I shouldn't say your dad and your mom, obviously. It's something totally different, right? I like going out and I like winning. And I'm obviously your father does too, but to see the kids do it And, obviously your parents were instrumental in teaching you what to do and everything, and seeing it pay off. It's again, like the feeling you had when you saw the wind light come on. It's just something that really can't be described. So it's really cool to see the youth kicking everyone's butt, unless you're kicking my butt, then it's not so cool, but we'll take it.
Then he wants you guys to teach him how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because clearly I forgot what you learned. So you might have to teach the old dog some new tricks. For those that don't know, tell us about your car. What is it? What powers it?
It's a dragster, and it's powered by a small block Ford.
A Ford in the Nichols family? No way. That's awesome. And that's the car you're going to drive all year?
Yeah.
You have any desire to take the door cars out?
I mean, I'm still just getting used to the dragster, but
Yeah.
my dad's been talking about like later on getting a hit in the door cars just to get me used to it, just in case, to back up.
Yep.
But
Definitely.
I plan on staying in the dragster.
Excellent. And how fast is the car?
780s.
780s. That's don't tell me. Let's see. You got to be just touching 170, maybe 168.
166, yeah.
166. All right, I'm in the ballpark. Excellent. So what's your schedule? Are you going to travel at all, or are you just going to race Lebanon Valley for points?
For right now, just Lebanon Valley points, but I am signed up for the low gamblers at the triple tens
Excellent.
in August, I think.
Yep. End of July?
Yeah, it's
End
something
of
like
July,
that.
first week of August. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I will get you the exact date. Bear with me with this one.
So that's good. And did you join the points for Lebanon Valley for Super?
Yeah.
And so I'm afraid to ask, how did you do on Sunday?
Not very good.
So
I lost
this
I lost first round, but I had a good race, so
good.
No
So
complaints.
this is what we call going from hero to zero. Just like that.
oh yeah.
It sure is a humbling sport, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
What do you got, Chris?
Excuse me. Excuse me. August 18th through the 20th.
I don't know. Why
Actually,
did I even
The
question the
17th
kid?
through the 20th.
She's been right about everything so far, and I had the nerve to question her, right?
There you
I
go.
think
See?
isn't the Stein race the end of July? Go ahead, I'll give you something else to look up. Go ahead.
Oh, the Stein. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. I knew what I'm pretty sure the Stein race is the end of July. So you excited for the Duzen?
Oh yeah. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that race too. Have you ever raced the 8th mile yet?
No, not yet. Well, I mean, besides juniors, obviously, but
Yeah, right.
yeah.
So besides going faster, obviously, was it a big transition to go from the junior to the big car?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that really took me by surprise was the speed. Like
Yep.
kind of like a roller coaster feeling in your stomach almost.
Yep.
And it took a while to get used to, well, I'm really not still used to letting go of a button on the top
Right.
bulb instead of flooring it on the bottom bulb. Like I've been doing that for 8 years,
Yep.
and now I'm just getting used to the whole procedure.
It sounds like you're really struggling with your lights, so I'm sure it's going to take some time to get used to. Like about 30 more seconds and you should be good. That's awesome. So when you got in the car first time this year, I assume it was a couple of weeks ago on opening day.
Yeah.
So what did you do? How far did you take it? Did you leave off the trans brake? What was that like?
Yeah, all of my license passes I left off the trans brake, but like the first 3 passes were basically just launches.
Yep.
Just really getting used to having it launch and being set back so far in the seat, and then,
Right.
and then I ended up taking it to the 8th, and then taking it to the quarter for 2 passes, and it's a lot of fun.
And just like that, you're a
Yeah.
licensed driver and off you go. That's awesome.
Right.
Good stuff. Well, I'm definitely going to be watching the points because I'm curious as to how your year goes, but it sounds like it's off to a pretty good start. And then I'm going to be watching you at the Doosan and making sure you're not in the other lane next to me. Get in front or in back of me. Just don't get next to me, please. What do you got, Chris?
July 22nd and 23rd
There you go.
for the Dave Stein Memorial Race. Now, question. If your year continues to go smoothly, any thoughts of making a try at Super Comp? Or are you just going to run Super Pro for this year and really get comfortable in the car?
Definitely, probably just Super Pro for this year.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
bummer.
I mean,
The bummer about Super Comp for you would be the divisional is so early in the year that you're probably just going to be really getting used to the car when
Right.
the divisional comes around. It's like you don't have a lot of time to prepare for Super Comp. But isn't Lebanon Valley doing a Super Comp series this year? Am I right in saying that?
my mom just said they were supposed to, but it's not happening. Or she hasn't heard anything about it.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. After you master Super Pro, which should take about 2 more weeks, then you'll be looking for something else to do.
Yeah, because the Lebanon Valley Divisional is June 9th to the 11th.
Yeah,
So-
that should be my first week out. Possibly the week before up there testing. But it's early this year. So
Yep.
gonna have to
So-
get
Yeah. So Jenna, you tell your mom to get a little closer. I gotta ask her a question.
I can hear you.
She said she can hear you.
You're- oh, come on, Jen. All right. So
How about a
anyway,
hand? Could you put a hand in the camera?
let us know you're actually there. Give us a peace sign.
We got nothing.
No, nothing. I'm just
I'm
She's coming.
throwing it to the wind here.
There she is.
There she is.
Hey, Mama. How are you?
hey there.
All right. So, with your daughter making the transition from juniors to a big car, how did it feel watching her first pass in the big dragster?
At first, it really wasn't a big deal until she got about half track and I realized how fast it looked like she was going, and I didn't really like it after that. It was a little scary. I wasn't scared at all at first, knowing that, they're so strapped in and they have so much safety gear on, and I knew she was definitely ready to start driving it. But once you see the dragster go down, you watch them all day long, you don't think about it till it's
Until
What's
someone you love,
Yeah.
it's a whole different ballgame, right?
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that with the boys too in the Mustangs. They're oh yeah, they can handle it, and then you see them go all the way down. I was like, ooh,
You're
a
like,
little,
no,
little frightening.
no,
So
I'm
this
good.
is the first child that started out in a dragster.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's like considerably faster than the boys started, right?
Yes. Yep. They were. Yeah. They both had the Mustangs. They were both going to low tens. Yep.
Jenna, that
They
sounds
both.
like bragging
Yeah.
rights to me. You're the fastest Nichols child in the house, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
Cool. All right. So now, obviously, with the year just kicking off, does this mean there's going to be a competition in the family to see who gets the most trophies?
No.
There has
No.
been for many years. There's been a big competition for many years.
Well, now that you're all in big cars, though, I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, little different that way.
What are your brothers running? Are they both running in Super also?
LG just runs in pro, but Sean occasionally joins Super. No, Sean's not in Super points though.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he is this year.
Oh. I was wrong.
And Dad also?
Oh,
He isn't.
We lost you on that. What was that?
Oh, I said that LG is just in pro, or Grant is just in pro.
Yep.
But Sean is in pro and Super.
Gotcha. And how about Dad? He's in Pro or Super, right?
Just in Super, yeah.
Yep.
He's got
And
his
what's he
dragster back.
Is that his drag? You got 2 dragsters in the family?
Right. Yeah.
Excellent.
There's the purple one that I was driving, and we actually had to double that the first points event because he didn't have a motor in his yet. But over last week, we put a motor in his dragster, and now he's got that one running. He's running that one in super.
Awesome. Uh-oh, we got the, give me 1 second.
In regards to Super Comp at Lebanon Valley, this is directly from Sue.
Okay.
There is a Super Comp race scheduled for May 20th, she said.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yep.
That works. Yeah, a little bit of diversity up there. Nothing wrong with that.
Because you have Super Street with Nessa, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it would make the most sense if all the planets align to have Super Comp and Super Street on the same day. No idea what the schedule or the plan is, but yeah, a little .90 action. Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, because they're doing a similar thing that, of course, they have been for a few years at New England.
Right.
So it'd be kind of cool, and I know I've mentioned this in the past, would be like a track on track championship for a specific class. In this case, like .90 would be really cool to put the like top 8 or whatever
Right.
in each class at Lebanon Valley against the top 8 at New England, and just kind of like have a
Yeah, no, that would be cool. And then you could like alternate tracks every year for, the runoff or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. That would even be cool to do for like at the bracket finals.
Yeah.
Right. If
Yeah.
the track has a .90 series, send the top 5 to compete at the bracket finals. That would be kind of cool. But I don't know. The tracks are getting less and less that are competing in the bracket finals. And I don't know how many of those tracks even have a .90 program. We're kind of spoiled around here with New England and Lebanon Valley, but I don't know, I don't think ATCO has a .90 series or Maple Grove. So we might just be the lucky ones that we have a couple that are fairly close to us.
Well, I would say they probably don't. I'm just again, pure speculation, just to guess. They probably don't because they have the Mid-Atlantic series rolling through there.
That's a very good point. Yeah. Yep.
Doesn't mean they don't, but
Right.
So
very
well,
cool. Well, Jenna,
Uh,
congratulations on your win.
Thank
We
you.
all know that it's definitely not going to be the last one. That's for damn sure. So best of luck to you the rest of this year, and we're definitely going to be keeping our eye on you.
Yeah. See you in the summer.
Yes, you will. Tell Mom I said goodbye, and tell Dad and your brothers I said, what's up?
Okay.
All right.
all right, Jenna, have a great night. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us for a little bit.
You too. Have a good one.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
your
Jenna.
mom too. Make sure your mom hears us say that to her too.
She
All
says
right,
thank you.
we gotta keep the moms and dads happy, or they won't
That's
let
right.
us have the kids on. So, all right, kiddo, have a great night.
You too.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right, Jenna Nichols, everybody, our guest this evening. Like I said, she made the transition from juniors to the big cars, and junior dragster to a super pro dragster, and knocks it out.
How on earth do you sit your butt in a car for the first time ever, and after 3 weekends you win your first race? How is that even possible?
Hey, when you're good, you're good.
She's already got more round wins this year than like my last 3 combined. And the sad thing about that is I honestly
It's
don't
true.
think I'm exaggerating either. Actually, that's not true. Not last year, the year before, I did win a super street race up at Lebanon Valley. And LG red lighted against me in the final. Otherwise, he probably would have kicked my ass. So I'll take it. Yeah, pretty much.
God.
You know, it's funny. I had that race was kind of like an aha moment for me.
Yeah.
And you could learn if you're not thick-headed, you'd be surprised what you could learn from people that are like a third of your age. A couple of weeks before that race at Lebanon Valley, I was in the media and I raced the guy who builds my engines in the first round. And I had 2 good time trials the day before. Car was running great. I felt great. I wasn't nervous. And I went up for first round and I saw that I was racing him. So I actually added a little bit in the delay box because I knew he was struggling all weekend with the car. So I said, I'm not going to go red because I don't have to, you know. And I staged the car perfect. I was relaxed. I let the button go and I came up 10 red. And I'm like, how on earth did you come up 10 red? It's like impossible. And even he said to me, he goes, you never red light. He goes, what? I go, I don't know. Maybe I was just too relaxed. I don't know. And I beat myself up over it like I always do. And then a couple of weeks later, I went up to Lebanon Valley and I raced, 3 or 4 rounds. And then I faced LG and he came up 10 red against me. And we met at the other end where we got our time slips. And he goes, yeah, I must have grabbed all that one. I don't know what happened. And I'm thinking to myself, here's a kid who's already won more races than I'll ever win. And he's got more laps on this track than I'll ever have. And he's a phenomenal racer. And for him to come up 10 red at a track that he races at almost every weekend in a car that he's got a bazillion passes in already. And he's like, yeah, I must have just grabbed it or something. I came up 10 red. And I'm thinking to myself, I race like once a month, right? At different tracks all over the place. And I'm beating myself up. And this kid here is like, yeah, it happens, whatever. And I'm like, why do you beat yourself up so much over all this, And that's not only have I learned countless lessons from his father, now I'm learning it from him too. Little bastard.
Right.
But yeah, it's
I
amazing
didn't
what you can
realize-
learn when you kind of pay attention.
What I thought was cool that I didn't know about Jenna's car was that it was a small block. You obviously assume every dragster on the planet has, a big
Right.
block. And then a big block and then some.
Well, I think the Nichols family, I think like they throw old engine parts in their backyard and it like grows new engine parts or something. And they're like
they
a
water
Ford.
it.
Yeah, they're like, small block Ford. Like they have rain buckets under their gutters and like cylinder heads and camshafts come down and fall in the bucket. And they put motors
And
together,
it sprouts 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, right. And you know what? They all run good and they definitely, that crew knows what they're doing. That's for sure.
That's awesome though. I mean, to hear a small block dragster, running mid to high sevens, that's
Yep.
pretty impressive. Again, in the day where everybody's got 6, 7, 800 cubic inch engines in between the pipes.
Right.
So
Remember a couple of years ago when I was having an issue up at Lebanon Valley with the staging lights in or out, getting red lit and all that stuff? Well, one of the times that I was struggling, I had 2 separate problems. One problem was the car was too low. And then when I raised it up, then I saw through a video that it backed up a little bit when I hit the button. So I had 2 separate problems that were driving me crazy. But the one of the first or second times that it happened, I was racing Grant and I went red against him because I don't know, the car did something goofy staging, light on, off, whatever. And he came over and he's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I said, it for some reason, it never does it during time trials. It only does it during eliminations. But I'm like pulling in and the pre-stage will come on. Then I pull in a little more and it'll go off. Then I'll pull in a little more and they'll both come on. The dude takes his cowboy boot off and he starts shoving it under the front of my car. And he's like, that's the problem. This is too low. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I know. I measure everything with my boot. I know that if this boot fits under it, that it'll clear the staging lights and I'm like, so I go home and I put the next size bigger front tire on and I went up there and problem solved. So I guess the boot, it's all in the boot.
Any boot in a storm.
Yeah, exactly. Any boot in a staging beam.
There you go. So a couple of things. Did you happen to see the pictures I posted of Carly Wolf's Mustang?
Oh, I did not.
today?
I did see the picture, not to take anything away from Carly, but I did see the picture of Mr. Mayor's Fiat.
Alpha.
Sorry.
Alpha.
Unbelievable. What a
Isn't
cool
that
ride.
cool?
Yeah, just when you think you can't get any cooler than a Porsche, you come up with an Alfa Romeo with no roof on it.
Yep.
So cool.
And I was reading it's either last night or this morning on a different page that he is gonna he's got the aluminum motor in the Porsche. He's got
Okay.
the iron motor in the Alpha.
Yep.
He's gonna swap them. And he thinks taking the metal motor and swapping it with the aluminum motor in the Alpha will bring him to weight. 'Cause he was really close and he, nothing wrong with it. The guy's a perfectionist. He wants it right where it's supposed to be. And I think it's got to be, what was it? For Super Street for an open cockpit, I think they said 2,800.
The cockpit doesn't matter in Super Street. It's 2,800 no matter what.
2,800 no matter what. All right.
Yep.
Because a couple of people had posted it had to be X amount of weight for being open cockpit.
Yep. No,
Whatever.
Super Street has for divisionals, Super Street, divisionals, nationals, Super Street is 2,800 and roof or no roof, no spec on that.
Yeah, he did a hell of a job building that car.
So I had no idea that it was a Roadster.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, like a setup like his Porsche, just different body style. When you posted a picture of it, I looked at it, I go, holy shit, that is so cool. It is cool. But all right, enough about him, 'cause we'll be talking about him all friggin' year. How about Carly?
One more quick thing about his car. It's got a stereo in it.
Gee, that's something different.
I know it's a shocker, isn't
He
it?
probably has the same head unit and just takes the removable faceplate and goes from car to car.
The only Alpha with like probably 12-inch subwoofers in the back or something.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, we digress. So yeah, Carly got a new hood for her Mustang, and it actually looks really cool because she had the cowl induction on it
Yep.
since I've known her. I don't, maybe even longer than that. But yeah, it's like a bubble top in the middle. It's really kind of cool looking.
So so it kind of looks like a cowl, but it's more of a bubble shape.
Yeah, it almost looks like the old
That's called the
think it was
Sunoco scoop.
Sunoco scoop.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They're very cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool because she put a picture up on Instagram the other day of it before it got painted.
Yep.
And it was hard, you really couldn't see the bubble as well as you can
Right.
in these two pictures I put up, but it looks really cool. So they did a good job painting it and installing it.
I
Plus,
actually have one of those hoods for my Vega. Unfortunately, it just won't fit.
all right.
And it's such a nice hood that I don't want to cut a hole in it. So who knows, maybe 2 years from now, I'll put a V6 in it or something and I'll be able to fit it on because I miss just having the cowl hood on my car. I personally think that's when it looked the best with the
Yeah.
cowl hood with no open
With
scoop.
no
on the
scoop.
front.
Yep. So Auto Week did an article on Tony Stewart. I know we've debated this one in the past. Tony Stewart making NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series look easy. So obviously he, top alcohol dragster, runs injected nitro.
Right.
Under McPhillips Racing banner.
Right.
And I was hoping it wasn't going to go the direction it ended up going in, but it did with the comments a little bit. But even it was cool because Jackie Road Frick, I was a friend of ours, and
Yep.
one of the best alcohol dragster racers in the entire country.
Yep.
Commented, the guy can drive anything he wants to,
Right.
Why be negative and beat him up? Yes, he has the money to get the pieces, the parts, the coaching, the tuners,
Right.
but he's still out there, and when he was racing NASCAR, as we all know, the dude was a total hothead,
Oh, yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
but he looks like he's having the time of his life.
Right. So I know we talked about this, I'm pretty sure earlier this year about
Yeah.
someone like Tony Stewart coming into our sport. I do not see any negative to it at all. Right. Obviously, the dude has some financial backing. So he's bringing money into the sport, which is a winner. I mean, God, he's got a couple of top fuel teams. He's racing top alcohol. It's breathing new life into the sport. Not that we necessarily needed new life, but you need this stuff just to keep things fresh and exciting and
Relevant.
yeah. I mean, I remember talking about this a couple of months ago, and like when Shane Gray went to NASCAR, right? He's gonna pull some people just because he's got a fan base. He's gonna pull some people away from drag racing to NASCAR. So when it flips around the other way, it's a good thing. I don't know. It just people are. I can't figure it out. I can't figure out what they like to piss and moan about, just to piss and moan. But he's obviously, and I'll get chastised for this, but I think it's harder to drive what Tony Stewart drove for years than it is for what we're doing. I could have a lucky day, right? I could get a couple of red lights. I could get a couple of people break out. I could pull a couple of good runs out of my butt, and I could sit there with a trophy in my hand, right? We all heard the stories about who rented a rental car and won the day, or who got 7 red lights and won the day, or, who didn't have enough fuel to make it through the day, but everyone next to him either red lit or broke out. But you're not going to get into a 3 or 4 or 500 mile race and bring no talent to the race and win it. Not going to happen.
The guy has raced and won in midget cars.
Yep.
The guy has raced and won in Silver Crown cars.
Right.
Guy has raced and won in World of Outlaw cars. IndyCar. Obviously, NASCAR. NASCAR modifieds even he has raced and won in.
Yep.
Some people are just natural at what they do. Like they talk about, like to go way back, way back. Chuck Yeager. The dude could fly anything, God created.
Yep.
Any, natural stick and rudder man. Tony Stewart, natural wheel man. Put him in there. Once he gets comfortable.
Totally agree.
Yep. Set it and send it. So
You could, again, my opinion, you could take any top 10. What do they even call? I know it's not Winston Cup anymore. What's it called over there? Their top, whatever it
I
is.
don't even know any. I don't even pay attention.
All right, so whatever. The NASCAR, the fast guys.
NASCAR Cup Series. We'll call
Right,
it that.
Cups. Yeah. So you take their top 10. If they didn't have a single stitch of drag racing knowledge, they will come over to us and they will get a top fuel car up to speed with the proper coaching way quicker than if you took the top 10 from Top Fuel and put them in one of their cars if they didn't have an ounce of experience over there and have them up to speed and competitive. There's no question in my mind that there is a lot more stuff going on in circle track than there is in drag racing.
You mean I got to go at the end of this straightaway and turn left going 200 miles an hour? Are you
Right.
freaking crazy?
But not only that, you got to be able to turn left. And if it doesn't turn the way you're supposed to, you got to tell the crew chief what's going on. And you got to be consistent with where you enter the turn, where you brake, how much. I mean, it's just so, and that's just qualifying. Now imagine doing it with 42 other people on the track and being competitive for however many miles they're strapped in that friggin' dump truck that they're going around the track in. It's just, I don't know. Tony coming over here has been a blessing. And yes, he has the finances to get a lot of really good, if not the best equipment. But I'm happy he's here, and hats off to him for getting a win so early. And like I said to Jenna, you know damn well it's not going to be his last one. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, you need somebody like that to kind of, I don't really want to say shake it up, but that's the only word that really comes to mind.
just new blood.
And say, I'm
Just,
sorry.
you're just bringing a new blood and a new fan base.
Yeah.
You know, listen, this is no different, in my opinion, than when Tiger Woods came on the scene. Young, energetic, work ethic like no other, black. So he's getting a whole new fan base coming in. Not saying that all his fans are black, but it's just, young, all different. It's just bringing a whole new crowd into the game. Tony Stewart's kind of doing the same thing with bringing a whole new crowd of NASCAR. Tony Stewart's got to have some loyal followers that will follow him and watch him in whatever he does, because he's already been into so many different kinds of racing that, he's going to have a strong following, and that's great. Like Tiger was for golf, like he is for drag racing. I mean, it's great stuff.
And the thing is that you also know with somebody like him and what the cars that he owns, the number and type of cars that he owns.
Yep.
You're not just going to see him basically in the Midwest and West Coast, which is probably predominantly where he's going to race his top alcohol. With his wife's Top Fuel dragster, with the Top Fuel funny car, you're going to see that dude all over the country.
Right.
He may not be racing
Right.
all over the country.
Yep.
But he is going to, we're going to see him in a few weeks, at New England Dragway.
Right.
For the national event. Again, he's not going to be racing, but he will be there, being the team owner and calling the shots and, talking to the people.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why anyone would say anything negative about him competing or winning or owning a team. It's just some people want to bitch just a bitch. So whatever. We're never going to change that.
All right. Give me 2 seconds to dig through my stuff here and get the results from this past weekend.
You got it.
Because they never appeared anywhere else. I got them through people. So please bear
and
with
I heard from, we were talking about car counts earlier. I heard from Kyle Koretsky himself that on Sunday at the Harrington race, they had 427 cars.
Yep.
And that's not even counting the little RC cars. That's just the big boy cars.
That's the big boy cars. Before I get to dive into the results, I stumbled across this on another page in a thread that was going on. I thought this was the quote of the year so far because everybody, drag racing's dead, dying, it's on life support, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, whatever. Even my mind
is the last 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Drag racing is not dead. It just looks different.
Yeah, who was that? I read that and I thought that was really cool. Who was that?
It was a guy I don't know him, by the name of Jack Brady. It was in a thread on one of the New England Dragway sites. I think it had to do, if I remember right, with the it was IFO this past weekend at New England import face off. Because whenever the import cars come up, people lose their collective stuff. And,
again, it's not what I'm into. But when you could show a picture of the stands that you literally can't fit a toothpick in because there are so many people. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to be happy. We know that Epping has been going through it the last couple of years. Well, probably not last year, but before that, change of management, change of ownership, rumors, like every other track, closing, staying open, whatever. If you see something like that and you're not genuinely happy, you're not in the right sport. Because even though that does nothing for me, I'm happy for the owner and the crew and everyone that made money that day, because that helps us in the long run.
I read that there was 1,000 slots to race,
Okay.
and they sold them out at, even at 20, let's say it's $20 a car. I'm sure it was
Yeah,
more
right.
than that.
Right.
The math on that one's not tough to figure out.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, it's, like I said, not my cup of tea. But
but
fortunately, there's other races to watch. That's why when people piss and moan about, .90 cars at a national event. Well, there's 10 classes that run. You don't like 2 of them. So go get a friggin' cheeseburger when those 2 come out. Right. And enjoy the red instead of bad mouthing a class that you don't like. Just go there and enjoy the classes that you like when you're there.
exactly. All right. Please continue to bear with me for just a minute. I thought that I put that up in the featured, but I didn't.
What's
So now
that?
I did the results from the open. But unfortunately,
Okay.
they're not. I had to get them from people that were there.
Yep.
So it's a little bit scattered. The one that I do know is Bill Janke won Top Sportsman.
Yep. Saw that.
Yep. So very cool for the Janke family and
Congrats
their
to
new
him.
Finn. Finn made his debut in the winner's circle this past weekend. 2 days. Sorry, I should be more prepared, but you know what? I got home at 10 minutes of 7. So la 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 la. So you're gonna make your debut, hopefully, at the divisional at Lebanon Valley.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll be able to get out and practice the week before. And then maybe just leave all my stuff up there, park wherever they're gonna park us, and yeah, that's the game plan.
Can't find them.
I have an idea.
What?
Since it's 5 of 8, why don't we tell all the people that we're gonna post the results on the page and see you next Tuesday.
I can read into that last little bit of.
Yeah, we already had the star of the show on. We're merely just filling now.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I know I have them on there. I could have swore I saved them to featured, but
We're making an executive decision. We
Yeah.
will post the winners of the National Open in the comment section.
They are there. I swear to God, I'll have better luck finding them on my laptop than I will on my phone.
Amen.
Yeah, sounds good. Next week we are open. Our guest had to reschedule because I didn't realize that he is a freelance reporter for some TV station, and he's going to be in Texas and will not be available. So we'll come up with some stuff. We got things. We know people.
Maybe by then we'll find the winners for the Open. We can announce them. What's our next race in Division 1?
Our next race in Division 1 is May 19th through the 21st in Toronto. It's a national open.
Excellent.
It's a double event, Saturday, Sunday with a Friday test and tune. And then the following weekend is Maple Grove Divisional, regional number 1 for regional, obviously, for the alcohol cars.
Alcohol cars, yep.
And it's a 2023 Jags All-Star event.
Excellent. And Rob is call it a season opener only because he couldn't get the last one due to
Due
weather.
to weather.
Not this coming weekend, the weekend after, I believe. At Cecil. Sorry,
Cecil,
Rob,
correct.
if I'm getting all this wrong.
Again, give me 2 seconds. I'll find it. Yeah, why do you do this to me?
Just trying to put the pressure on you.
I know. I always come through most of the time. Dun, 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 dun. Do you know the word? Can you sing the theme to A-Team while I'm doing this?
I can, but I'm not going to.
Oh, come on. What was that?
What? My laugh?
No, that other noise.
Oh, a motorcycle going by my house.
Yeah.
Here, I could find this quicker than you. We have
May remember
race
May
numbers 3 and 4.
20th and 21st.
20th, 21st at Cecil County Dragway. So
And they're
that
gonna
is not this coming weekend, the weekend after, right?
2 weeks from this past weekend.
Yep.
They're also gonna have the very first Pro Tree Challenge.
Right.
That's gonna be joining the dot excuse me, the dot 90 series, the juniors, and the top 32 challenge. 2 races, 1 per day. It was created by Jim and Chad. Obviously Jim Halsey from Cecil County.
Yep.
They're gonna use it as a test run for possible future events similar to Pro Dial, but open to dragsters, cars, bikes, and so on. So that's cool.
Very cool.
So, yeah. So
And I know he got his new trailer.
yeah, got his new trailer. They were working on the other day to get that all set up. Yeah,
Life
so they
is
got
good.
that. Life is good. I told him, he looks more organized than some other stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, that happens.
You know, gotta say that series, if this is going to be a good year for them. If everything works out with the top dragster, the top sportsman stuff.
Yep.
I mean, not that Mid-Atlantic Dot 90 Association's had a bad year
Right,
in a long time,
right.
but if they can add in and keep happy everybody with a top sportsman or top dragster car,
Yeah.
that's going to be a really fantastic series.
You know, it's funny because Rob's thing was always, and hopefully he doesn't hear this and get mad at me, but his thing was always no matter how hard he tries and no matter what he does, he can't compete against the Wally. You know, people will continue to pay big money and take a lot of time off from work just to chase that trophy. And the whole time that he says that, hopefully he realizes, but his series is getting right just a little bit better, a little bit better, and a little bit better. And I've heard, again, nothing bad against NHRA, nothing positive for Rob, just saying what I see. I've never in my life heard so many people this offseason say, I'm all done with the NHRA divisional stuff. It takes up too much time, not enough racing. I raced Rob's series a couple times last year and I loved it. And I hope that as hard as he's working and as hard as he's trying, that he gets rid of that mentality of people are still going to flock to NHRA no matter what, because I see the tide turning and I hope he sees it, because it would be a good reward for all the hard work that he's doing. If he could sit back and not sit back and say, I made it, but sit back and say, we're going in the right direction. And it's solely because I busted my ass doing it.
Yep.
It's
Change one word from made to did. and it changes the entire thing that you just
Yep.
said.
Yep. So it's all
And
good.
then he's just got to figure out a way to get stock and super stock in there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times he runs with Dave Lay's stock super stock.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, with East Coast Stock Super Stock
So
Association.
the good thing about that, well, I say it's a good thing from the outside looking in, is spectators could come to the track and again see all kinds of forms of racing, right? If Dave Lay is there with his Stock Super Stock Association, and then Rob is at the same track running the same event with his .90 and now the Top Sportsman stuff, Sportsman Dragster, and then this Pro Dial ordeal and everything. I mean, it's literally something for everybody. And that's,
Yep.
you know, you don't have to like everything, but knowing that you're going to go to the track and you're really going to love at least 75% of what's going down the track, regardless of which 75% that is, that's a good day.
One other thing I just thought of that I'm going to work on is I want to find out how the free grandstands worked out this past weekend at ADCO for the National Open.
Yeah. Now, what did they do? Did they pay by the carload or just
Free.
come on in for free and spend your money?
Come on in, check out what we got to offer.
That is a cool idea. I would love to know how many people went, and I would love to know how their concession sales went. Because that's usually what benefits. I'm sure I've said this on the show a couple of times, but I remember, I think I've raced the Virginia divisional 2 or 3 times. And if I'm not mistaken, someone could correct me on this, but they paid by the carload. So it was basically like $20 to get in. It could look like a friggin' clown car when you get there and 30 people could get out of the trunk, but it's $20 to get in per car. And I couldn't have gotten a cheeseburger at the concession stand if my life depended on it, because the line was out back, wrapped around. I mean, and it was all day that concession stands, souvenir stands, they were packed. And all of us people that raced said, this is brilliant. Whatever they're losing on the ticket sales coming in, they have like 20 times more spectators. And now the stuff that they're selling at the track is like off the charts. And I don't know if they still do it. It's been a while since I've raced Virginia, but I don't know. The plan seemed brilliant to me. So I'm just wondering how they made out with that.
I'm curious to see. Jeez. Yeah, well, they're not till the end of September.
Correct.
So we have a long ways till that happens, but yeah, it would be definitely something cool to really pay attention to. Like I said,
Well,
I'm gonna
we'll
do
know
some-
if it was a good idea if they do it again next year for the Open, right? Or if they do it for the divisional this year. Who knows?
True.
You know?
But yeah, I'm gonna dive into that one, see what I can come up with for answers. I mean, even if it's not a lot, if you've got 100 people, and you normally get 100 more people, I should
Sure.
say, whereas you normally get your wife and kids and everybody else's friends, girlfriends,
Right.
wives, kids, whatever. If you have that plus another 100, I guess you could still call that technically a win.
I wonder if we could get, I'm sure we could probably get the info from Wayne. The only tainted thing about that is Lebanon Valley tends to get more spectators than average.
True.
I would love to know what the average spectator attendance is for a divisional. So we roll into Cecil County. How many spectator tickets do they sell from Friday to Sunday? Right? ATCO. I mean, ATCO, they have an open race every year. I'm sure they have the data that they could compare. How many people were sitting in the stands last year when they charged per head versus this year when they let them in for free?
Right.
How much did their concession stand business go up because there were more people there. Hopefully there were
Right.
more people there.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
kind of the cool stuff that I really don't have any business knowing because I'm not a track owner or manager, but it would be cool to know how that works.
Even if we could get some vague numbers, to even just use last year versus, or, obviously maybe go back to last year and then the year before that, because
Right.
we're at the beginning of the season, essentially, for us up here. All right, I will work on that.
Cool stuff.
Cool.
Thank you,
All right,
sponsors.
everybody. Jenna Nichols, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Congratulations on your first win 3 weeks into your season.
Thank the people behind you, will you?
Thank the people behind me. Straight Line Performance and Automotive, Blackburn Engineering, TSR Racing Products, Duzen LLC, not only a great sponsor of ours, but they're also the sponsor of the Triple Tens at Lebanon Valley, Hoops Fire Protection, and of course, this crazy little thing right here, Racers News Network Live, brought to you by everybody here every Tuesday night. I think we're going to stick with Tuesday nights. I know we kind of went back and forth about it, but I'm going to stick with Tuesdays just because I can make it work.
Okay.
And have a great night. Talk to everybody
the same.
soon. And stay safe, everybody. If you're out on the road, heading to a track, be good, be safe. Take care.
Take care, guys.
We shall see you later. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.